Okay, so this is the course introduction for physical geology, fully online, section 5015. And so I'm going to go over some basics of how the course is run and how to use Blackboard. So if you're watching this video, because I have this link in D2L as well as in Blackboard, if you're in D2L, make sure you follow the link that's on the syllabus or the link that's provided for you. Follow this link. It will take you into the registration process of Blackboard, which gives you details here. So when you log in, I recommend writing down your username and password. Your username, you can link Blackboard to Google and various other things. So if you want to do that, make it easier for yourself. But write down your username and password, because I get a lot of students who get confused about what they put and they end up creating multiple accounts. And that's just creates a little bit of a headache. But also bookmark this, because this is Course Sites by Blackboard. So if you Google Blackboard, it's not going to, and you try to log in, it will not log you in. You need to go to Course Sites by Blackboard. So that's why I recommend bookmarking. This is the free Blackboard learning management system. So when you log in, it's always going to take you to the What's Due page. You can see here, I already have an announcement. Watch the course introductory video, which you're doing already. So all the announcements will show up here. Your assignments will show up here. And then you can click on announcements. Takes you here. What's Due will take you back here. If you click the home button, it will take you back to the What's Due page. You will also be using Launchpad. Well, actually, everything is linked through Blackboard. So once you set up your account, you won't actually have to go back into Launchpad. It will take you there automatically. But when you click on Launchpad, it takes you to, like, you can click on this to take you to Launchpad. This takes you to the ebook. Takes you to the gradebook, which you don't really need. But that's what that link is there for, which we'll go over Launchpad and how to register for it in a minute. Okay, so my contact, I'm Dr. Labs. My phone number, my office location, my office hours are listed here. The fastest way is to email me. If I'm not in my office, I will not call you back. I will call you back next time I'm in my office. So emailing me is a much quicker, you'll get much quicker responses from them calling me. Course information. So this is really, you should go through this in more detail. Course introduction is the video you're watching. Here's some course information. How to be successful in the course. The syllabus you should download. It's the same syllabus that's in D2L, so if you downloaded D2L, you don't need to re-download it. But it looks like this. So there's what the syllabus looks like. And okay, so we're going to start here, registering for Launchpad. I'm going to click on this. It's going to take me to Launchpad. And it's going to think right now. I guess my internet is slowing down. Okay, so this is what Launchpad looks like. You're not going to really have to navigate from this view, but this is what it looks like. It's pretty self-explanatory, like chapter 1. It does give you the due dates, the range. When you click on a section, it brings it up. It tells you if there's like things to do, you can click these, and it tells you what's to do. So that's what all these are. So if you do want to go through Launchpad directly, you can do it that way, but you don't have to. But once you register, follow the instructions. You get 3 options. You can have a student access code that came with your textbook. You can purchase a student access code directly through Macmillan, or you can use a 21-day free trial. If you are waiting on your textbook, or you want to use, if you're not sure if you want to use just the ebook, do the 21-day free trial. That will give you access to an ebook and Launchpad completely. And then once your 21-day free trial is up, you can go here and pay for it. Or this shows you how to pay for it, but it will prompt you anyway. Or if you're waiting for your textbook and your code comes in, you can access this will show you how to enter your code, access code. If you buy a used book or rent your textbook, you will probably have to purchase the code separately for $100. In most cases, used and rented textbooks, the codes are already used and they are no longer valid. So just kind of keep that in mind. There's also a Get Started guide here, or you can watch a little video that goes through how to register. So if you have problems, they have a phone number you can call. Here is the information to the testing center. Since you have an option to either take your tests online through ProctorU, which I will add a link here for ProctorU because you do actually have to register with ProctorU in advance for the exams. So if you want to go to the testing center, you can go to any Lone Star testing center around Lone Star and complete the exam for free. If you want to take the test from home, you can use ProctorU. It's an online paid proctor service. It's $22 per exam. There's 3 exams. If you register 72 hours in advance, it's $22. If you register less than 72 hours in advance, they will charge you a $5 service fee for registering so close to the exam. So just keep that in mind. And I'll add the ProctorU link here to take you there to where to register. You can log on and register for all 3 exams at once. So you have 3 main materials required. Understanding Earth, 7th edition. This is what it looks like. It's a textbook. Like I said, you can purchase it, the ebook or Launchpad Access with the ebook for $100. I'm not sure exactly how much bookstore has it. This is the default price. This is probably how much you would get it, like from Amazon or another bookstore. And this is the loose leaf version. So it's about $140. The Physical Geology Lab Manual, it's customized to decrease the price for you guys. We basically cut out everything we don't need. So it's $90 from the bookstore. You can only purchase it from the bookstore or from Monster Books across the street. If you buy a used one and you're missing pages, it's up to you to get the pages from another student. I will not provide them for you. So I do not recommend buying a used lab manual. You will also have to purchase Know Your Rocks collection. It's $70 through the bookstore. That's the only place you can purchase it unless you go to Home Training Tools, which if you copy and paste this link, this will take you right to it and you'll see that it's actually much cheaper. I think last time I checked it was like $36 versus the $70. So $36.95. So look, it's on back order, so it's expected to ship 1/16, so that's not that bad. But then you think it's $6.95 shipping, it's still cheaper. But if you're going to order this, you need to order it right at the beginning of the semester because it does take 10 days to receive it, up to 10 days to receive it. So if you're going to purchase it through the Home Training Tools versus the Sci-Fair bookstore, you want to do it right away. And the only place you can purchase this from is the Sci-Fair bookstore. Because Sci-Fair is the campus this course is associated with, you do need to purchase the rocks from the Sci-Fair bookstore. If you can't get to the Sci-Fair bookstore, you can go online to their website and they will ship it to you. So you can get the stuff shipped to you. Other required materials, ruler, color pencils, calculator, protractor, and compass are required for the course. You are going to need to take tests and do labs with this stuff, and you need to have this stuff. Another thing I should recommend or discuss is if you do decide to take the exams using the online proctor system, you have to use a PDF editor or a paint program to answer the questions. You will not be able to print anything or write on paper. If you go to the Lone Star Testing Center, you can write everything down on paper. You'll get a paper copy of the lab exam, and you do everything on paper. If you use the online proctor system, you'll be doing everything on the computer. So you'll be having to like stick your ruler up to your screen and measure things, and use a paint program or a PDF editor to sketch everything out and draw everything out, and to label things. So if you're comfortable with that, that's fine. I have plenty of students that have no problem with that, but if that sounds very scary to you, go to a testing center because it'll just be easier for you. Okay, so exam information. So this gives you information about the exam. So once again, if you're taking an exam using ProctorU, it gives you the information. If you're taking an exam using the Lone Star Testing Center, it gives you information. Biggest thing is do not use Internet Explorer. Blackboard does not work well with Internet Explorer. Actually, with the test, if you go into test, it'll give you one question and bump you out. So do not use Internet Explorer. The testing centers will not watch what you use. They will open up Internet Explorer for you, even though it says do not, because I tell them that, but they still do it anyway. So just be wary of that. Watch what browser you're using. So you should read through this in more detail. So the way this is broken up, you can see it's broken up into sections. I'm not completely done setting up the class yet. It will be completely set up before you even get to it. I have through chapter 8 completed, so everything is got plenty of time to get there. But you can see it's broken down into 3 sections. So there are 3 exams. All 3 are proctored, and then it's broken down by chapters. So if you just click on chapter 1, it tells you right up here, one thing that, because this is the free version of Blackboard, it's set to Eastern Standard Time and I cannot change that. So everything will say it's due at 8 a.m. when it's really due at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So even though it says 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, everything is due at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Then since Blackboard does not list due dates down here, I list the due dates at the top of every section. So it tells you on the 23rd, read, watch lectures, and complete assignments. And then on the 25th, this lab and quiz are due. So you will get basically chapter 1, you'll get a summary of the chapter. Then comes the reading and lectures. It tells you any animations that come with the textbook I provide links for. And then any lectures for the chapter I provide. Most of my lectures are between 5 and 10 minutes because they're on specific topics. I will not put up a 50-minute lecture where I'm lecturing over the entire chapter. I lecture on very specific chapters. Some lectures are only 2 minutes long because that's all that needs to be explained. But they're not your traditional lecture where I'm just showing you PowerPoint slides. I'm sketching everything out, drawing everything out. So you should take notes on the lectures because they will help you on the assignments, the quizzes, and the exams. I also provide you a copy of the publisher's PowerPoints. I do not look at these, but some students like to have them, so I provide them for you. So you can see here, anything that looks like this is the Launchpad assignments. So these, when you click on them, will take you to Launchpad. Let's see if it opens up quickly. Since I'm logged in as a student on this one, it basically won't let me log in because I don't have an account set up, but it would take you to the direct assignment. And I hit cancel. I recommend right-clicking these and open them in a new tab so that way it keeps Blackboard up if you want it up, because otherwise it's kind of difficult to get back to Blackboard because it takes you into, I don't have the option to say open in another tab, but if you right-click your link, you can open link in a new tab and it'll open it in a new tab. So the image map activities, these are extra credit assignments because some of them, like I'll go to chapter 2 because it's more of a fleshed out chapter just because it's a longer chapter. So you can see there's more image maps. These are extra credit. So you can complete these. Most of these are pictures. There's one question that's picture and you have to click on something. It's very picky sometimes, so you can do this as many times as you want until you get the correct answer, which I recommend doing until you get the correct answer. And so you get extra credit for these. The video exercises you get 2 attempts for. So you can watch the video, answer the questions, and you get a second attempt. The learning curve assignments, these are completion. So you have to basically earn a certain number of points. Once you earn the certain number of points, you get 100%. The more prepared you are before you start the learning curve, the faster it's going to be because it will just keep asking you questions until you receive the correct amount of points. Otherwise, once the due date's over, it will just give you a percentage grade of how much you completed. So any of these are in Launchpad. Practicing geology. So anything in green is done in Blackboard. So this is an actual exercise from your textbook. It gives you information. When you click on it, it will give you, when you begin it, it will give you additional, I already completed my attempt. You only get 1 attempt. So I went through and tried it just to make sure. So, but it will give you additional information in the content. The Dropbox is for your labs. So read this completely before you begin the lab. If you submit your lab after due date and time, you will receive a 0. Complete all activities listed below for the Plate Tectonics lab in your lab manual. Once you completed the lab, scan it and upload it here. So if you click on this, it's going to give you the instructions again, and this is where you are going to browse your computer and upload your PDF file. You need to upload a single PDF file. If you do not have a scanner, I provide a link for an app. You can go on your phone and go into Blackboard and click on the link and it will take you to CamScanner. CamScanner is a free, basically scanning app. So you use your camera on your phone to scan. You can also use your tablet. It will bulk scan, which means it will scan all the pages into a single PDF. CamScanner has a tendency to cut off pages, so you have to go into each individual page and make sure it's highlighting the entire page before you send the file to yourself. So then you're going to email the file to yourself. I tell you what materials you need. Complete all lab activities. So you're going to be completing only the activities listed here. I provide a video of the pre-lab, so I recommend watching this before you start the lab because they go over the lab. They sometimes give you answers to the lab and help you. I also will give you additional videos for some challenging sections. Oh, sorry, this is the pre-lab. And then like activity 6C, I get the same question from a lot of students. So I basically made a video here. You can watch it. I do provide the first 2 labs for you if you're waiting on your lab manual to come. So you can just download it here. It's just a PDF. It will download. So you just click this once it's down, fully down. So I provide it for you, and then you just download it, and you can print it out or use a PDF editor and answer the questions there. So if you do have additional questions, use the discussion board. Email me for help. I recommend working at least a day ahead of schedule. That way, if you do have questions, you have time to get answers and to complete the assignments. Okay. Then every chapter you have a quiz. You only get 30 minutes for this quiz. It's open book, open note, but you can't use another person. Once you start the quiz, you must complete it, which means you can't save later. After 30 minutes, it will automatically submit your quiz for you, even if you are not completed. You have 30 questions on the quiz, so you do not have a tough time to look up all the answers in your textbook or your notes. You will need to prepare for the quiz before you start taking the quiz. In certain chapters, like this chapter, you get 2 days to complete the reading and watch lectures. The assignments will all be due on the 30th, the second day, but that just means like the chapter is a little bit longer. So there's a lot more lectures associated with this chapter and an additional exercise. So I provide you with 2 days, and then the quiz is due on the same day the lab is due. You can complete all assignments early except for exams. So you can work ahead of schedule with the exception of the exams. So you'll see like all the chapters are shown here. I provide your animations, your lectures, the lab, which needs to be moved down. I will move it down. Then every chapter, some of them have videos, some of them don't. It's highly variable on. Some have additional activities. So like you have 2 video exercises on here. The image maps won't take you very long. But then you have an additional activity, Igneous Rock Lab, and the summative quiz. So most of the chapters are set up the same way, and they should be in order that's listed here. Okay, review sheet. So the exams are not a typical multiple choice exam. You actually do have to prepare for the exams. If you don't prepare for the exam, you will not pass the exam. It's up to you to do the work to pass the exam. It gives you when the exam opens and when it closes, what you'll need for the exam, and you get an hour and 50 minutes for the exam. So the exams are what are known as sketching questions. Some of them are essays, some of them you actually have to draw pictures with, but it'll give you information. The exam 1 will cover 1 through 6. You get 4 to 6 exam questions chosen from the list below. So you can see that for chapter 1, there's a question. Chapter 2, there's 3 questions. Chapter 3, there's 1 question and a bonus question. So it's shown, it gives you the questions. These are the exact questions that will be on the exam. Each student will get between 4 and 6. So if I choose that this test, you're going to get 5 questions. Every student will get 5 questions. But it's going to be randomized which of these 5 questions you're going to get. So you need to do all of them because you don't know which questions you're going to get in advance. And if one student gets these, like certain questions, you might not get the same questions as the other student because they're randomly chosen for each individual student. So you go through and I give you information, very specific information on how to answer these questions 100%. So you're going to want to go through this and start doing this. Do not do this the night before because you will not have enough time to get this done and study. You will have to actually prepare for the exam in advance. In the future, I will, before the exam, I will put up, like, probably next week, I will put up an example to one of these answers. So I'll just pick a question and answer it for you to see how, so you can see what an answer is. So on the test, you'll see that if you're using Online Proctor, you may want to include a sketch. For essay questions, you may upload it at questions that say upload any sketches. So the last question before the lab exam will be upload any sketches here. Because for essay questions, you don't get the file upload. You just can type things in. But sometimes you want to include a sketch with them. So you can do that. If you're at the testing center, you just use paper and say see paper. For the file upload, that means you have to provide a sketch. So you will, if you're at the testing center, you'll just use paper and turn the paper in. If you are using the Proctor system, you will have to use a PDF editor or a paint program to draw it out and label it and describe it. Do not use Internet Explorer. It's very, very bad. For the lab portion, the testing center will provide you a paper copy. I recommend downloading the color copy before you close out on the lecture portion of the exam, because some of the questions, sometimes it's easier to see in color. If you're using the online Proctor system, you'll download the PDF and use a PDF editor or paint program to complete the lab exam. So this is the lab portion exam. This is exactly what will be on the exam. You will have to convert. You'll have to calculate rates. I give you examples to refer to see what it's going to be like. You have to identify and describe igneous textures compositions of these rocks. This is exactly what you are going to have to do on the test. You have all the information to get 100 on this test, which a lot of students do, and if they do the bonus questions, they get over 100 on the test if you prepare for the exam in advance. So if you don't study, you won't be successful, but if you do put the work in and do study and do prepare for the test, you will be very successful on the test because you have all the information that is needed here. Okay, email. If you want to email me or contact me, you can just click the email button down here. Email all instructors. It will use my email, so it just looks like this. It puts the person, it puts your email address, and it will email it to my account. If you want to email, which is only me in there, people from the class specifically, you can choose them and email them directly. You do not need to know their email addresses. Discussions, which I will open up a discussion board here. If you have any questions about any of the assignments, post a discussion question. That way a student might get back to you before I do. So you can get help from other people. A lot of students are very helpful and as I said, might get to you before I do. If you send an email, I recommend putting up a discussion post on a question. But be specific, saying, I'm working on this assignment, this question, I'm having problems. So just be specific. Grades. So your grade percent, I have some grades already put in for this student. So you can see here what the grade is, the total amount of points, and so on and so forth. So the extra credit, like the image map, it says 1 point, but they're not really worth 1 point because that'd be a lot added onto your grade. Depending on how many there are, they're worth various amounts of points, but they will add several percentage points onto your grade at the end of the semester. So up to 1 or 2 probably. It just depends. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Just want to make sure. So just going through the syllabus has all the information. I recommend reading through this in detail. Administrative withdrawal. If you do not complete any assignments 3 days prior to the official day, which is on the Lone Star calendar, I will withdraw you from the class. You are not participating, therefore you are not technically in the class, and so you will not be counted for official day. You won't get your financial aid because you are not in the class. You will be withdrawn from the class. Time requirements. Because this is an online class, students think, oh, this is going to be easier, it's going to be less work. You get all the exact same assignments and exact same exams as my face-to-face students. So there's nothing different between this class and the face-to-face class with the exception that you're doing the work from home. So you get a little bit more support online, more videos, and so on and so forth that my face-to-face students don't get. This is a 96 content hour course, which means there's 6 hours of scheduled class time per week. The national average for colleges is 2 hours of outside work per 1 credit hour. So for a 6 credit class, it's an additional 12 hours above that 6 hours. You will not need an additional 12 hours for this class. However, depending on your background, your prior knowledge, your interest level, your pace, it will take you between 6 and 12 hours per week to complete the assignments. And that includes studying. So when exams are coming up, you might have 1 week where you don't spend 6 hours on, but you have to study for the test. So you're going to spend more time studying for the test. So that week you might work 15 hours, where the next week you might work 4. So it's not going to be 6 hours exactly every week, but it's going to range between 6 and 12 hours on average per week. Late and makeup work. There are no late assignments or labs accepted for any reason. You do get drop assignments. You'll get 2 drop assignment grades. So that would be the Learn Smart stuff, with the exception the Launchpad assignments, the exercises, the activities, not the quizzes, and you'll get one drop lab. You'll get one drop quiz as well. So you get all those drop assignments, and that's why there are no makeups. Doing poorly on something and then skipping something, you're not going to get a makeup. Doing poorly on assignment is not a reason to get a makeup. Exams 1, 2 can be made up only if you have a documented emergency and you contact me no later than the close of the exam. So you will need to provide official documentation of your emergency. You may receive a different lab exam, but the lecture questions will still be chosen from the same. Exam 3 does not have a makeup because it's during finals week, and Lone Star's policy, there are no makeups during finals week. Recommend reading through all this stuff. As I said, I went over most of it very briefly. The schedule shown here. So if you have any questions, please email me. Please contact me. If it's on how to navigate something or any of the content, I'm more than willing to help. That's what I'm here for. So please get in contact with me if you have any questions. And if you need, I have students who ask me lots of questions, and that's not a problem. I'd rather have you understand the content and understand and not be confused and not be bogged down by technology. So please contact me about anything.